the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine on this Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a good Easter. We're getting back at it today. We're going to open up the phone lines. An important topic. As you know, we are in the month of April right now. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. We do this every year. We should talk about it and try to every single month of the year, every single day. It's a problem, an ongoing problem. But we're lucky that in our community here, we have some terrific resources to both fight the problem of child abuse and also to provide services to help those who are victims. We're going to get into all of that this morning. We'll get the phone number up in a moment if you want to join in the conversation, if you have questions or comments about this topic or for our guests. Call. It's okay. They won't bite. They're a good bunch. They're all here with us this morning. At the far end of the table, I don't know why she's sitting so far away from me, is Sue Fort White, Executive Director of Our Kids, which is just a fantastic organization dealing with this issue. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick.
It's nice to have you on.
Always
way
great
over
to
there.
be.
I can see you, but it'll work. We do have a busy table full today, so as you can see, we've got 3 guests. Also with us this morning is Rob Kerrigan. He is with the Metro Police Department Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And also Jill Howlett. Nice to see you again, Jill.
You.
She's with Our Kids, and I guess a social worker with Our Kids dealing with it. Real quickly, a 30th anniversary of Our Kids. I just got done helping with one of your best fundraisers, which was great, Soup Sunday. Gosh, I love that.
We always are going to come back to you because you have got such great energy, Nick.
Well, it's a wonderful, wonderful cause. Remind folks what Our Kids does.
So Our Kids provides medical evaluations and crisis counseling in response to child sexual abuse. We have nurse practitioners and social workers on call 24/7. We are 30 years old. We have evaluated over 24,000 children. And we serve 47 counties in Middle Tennessee. It is a jarring topic, and it's a terrible and oftentimes very tragic, and yet we know that the children are not defined by the assault, they're not defined by the sexual abuse, and we help the child and the family navigate and get beyond. We help the caregiver believe and protect, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. It's just a wonderful, wonderful organization that does crucial work. And the problem is that you're needed because this problem keeps, I don't know, is it fair to say it's getting worse? Do we have more cases being reported these days? Child abuse, child sex abuse, unfortunately, has been around forever. What do you think?
So, based on some data from the Department of Children's Services, actually reports of child sexual abuse are up.
Okay.
And I think that the issue here is it is such a difficult topic, and people don't like to talk about it because we serve over 800 children a year. That's one of the largest. We're one of the largest clinics of our kind in the country. 95% of the time, Nick, the perpetrator is someone that's known and trusted and even loved by the family.
Yeah.
And that is why it's such a difficult topic.
Yeah, well, and I'm hoping one reason that we're seeing more reports is because we're educating and they feel that there are outlets for them to come forward and report it.
Exactly.
It's not as though necessarily maybe there are more cases, it's just that they're more likely maybe to. Do you think that's true?
I think so. I think it's easier to report now. You can report anonymously if you want to,
right.
Through the department, but also just educating the community about that it's okay to talk about it and that it's okay to hear it. And if you do hear it, how to act and how to get help for a child who might tell you.
And there are resources. So the two of you dealing with helping and being active in the community with the organization, I think you work with law enforcement as well. But Rob, your role is basically tracking down those who would commit these crimes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the internet is, we were talking before the show how, a few decades ago, something like this didn't exist because the internet wasn't where it is today. Now we have, just last month out of Chicago, a child that is being sexually assaulted live on Facebook. No one calls in to report it. It's gotten to that point. And I mean, it just makes me sick. Okay, what made me sickest about that, by the way, was the fact that people were sitting there watching her being sexually assaulted and no one called it in. Obviously, the perpetrators infuriate me, but people watching it and doing nothing. It seems like almost somehow on Facebook or when it's social media, I don't know, those observing who can be witnesses, it detaches them from the crime. Do you think there's something to that?
Absolutely, but I can say that Facebook and Instagram and some of those other different sites and providers are really good about working with law enforcement.
Right.
They keep a lot of logs and stuff that we're able to use to track down suspects or track locations where things are happening at. It may not be as quick as it is on TV.
You're right, right.
But we can, through a few subpoenas and some other search warrants and stuff, we can normally track down a good amount of people that are doing these things.
Now, give me then some examples of what you see mostly being done. This is the folks that are trolling on there, the folks that are looking for children to victimize?
Well, we get a lot of stuff through the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. It's a federal agency that was created as a clearinghouse by Congress. All those different providers, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Kick, any of those different social media, if they find something that's happened on their network, if they find somebody that's targeting a minor, if they notice a chat that's going in that direction and it's clear that one's a minor and one's an adult, they'll self-report that stuff. They'll keep their logs for your IP logs when you log in on your through your internet provider. They'll keep those. They'll report those to NCMEC. And then NCMEC forwards it to whatever law enforcement is in that region based on the IP address. So we'll get a lot of stuff coming in from those providers, and then we'll try to track those down. Many times the child may be here, the suspect may be in Montana. It just depends on, each case is different. So we may work with the other law enforcement and other agencies.
So there's Rob Kerrigan's there in Montana that are doing the same thing. You guys would get together?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
and then you hook up that way. So, and is that literally, how is it you identify whether someone's an adult or a child when they're pretending to be children online?
Sometimes they
just know what to look for?
Their initial profile may show them as a minor, but then once they get into the conversation, a lot of times the chat will turn and they'll say a different age, or just the nature of the chat, those monitoring stuff on their servers and on their networks may notice the tone and the sort of attitude within the chat, and they may say, yeah, well, this guy's reporting he's 16, but we got a suspicion there's something else. Or it may be that in the chat he's saying he's 16, but in their profile, when they set up their initial registration in the profile, they may have said something different, and they'll check against that and then report it if they think it's suspicious. So we get a lot of stuff that way.
I bet you guys know what to look for. So let's just be clear for the viewers, I was talking about how people watching maybe that Facebook assault out of Chicago not acting on it, but when it comes to child abuse, sex abuse, or other types of abuse, I mean, what is the law for whether or not someone sees, suspects, or thinks something's going on? Do you have a responsibility to report it legally if it's child abuse? And if you don't, is that a crime?
I'll answer. Yes, you have a duty to report if you suspect or know that child abuse is occurring, and it is a crime if you don't report that.
Because some people, I just don't want to get involved, or something like that.
And that's why there's the ability to report anonymously.
Right.
You can report without giving your name or telephone number, and give as much information as you know. The department asks a lot of questions because they want to get as much information as they can about a suspect abuse scenario. But give them as much information as you know, and then they will take that information and try to investigate that as much as they can.
Now, would you say the idea, Sue, is just, if you suspect it, better safe than sorry. You report it, you don't do it lightly, but when you do, I mean, if it turns out not to be the case, then fair enough, they're going to do their investigations, right?
Exactly. I mean, Tennessee is a demand report state, and the other thing is, if you've observed something, or if you just have a bad feeling in your gut about a child in your life, go ahead and make that call, and and things will get sorted out.
Yeah, and that's teachers do that a lot too. They're the ones that sometimes get to see that. Listen, we'll take a break on that note. When we come back, lots more to talk about. We'll get into some more details on this. We can take some of your phone calls, 737-7587, if you have questions about abuse, if you suspect something, or if you want some ideas on how to go about reporting and all that. Join us. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay with us.